Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Authors Quill. I hope everyone's having a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on our big, beautiful blue planet. I like saying this every week because you never know. We cross every time zone on the planet now. So be sure just to kick in your radio, pick up your phone. There's a lot of ways to listen to us these days. If you have Roku television or Fire Stick television, you can watch us on TV. You can see our lovely faces on television. A little bit scary for some people, but still, you can watch us on TV. Of course, you can also watch this on YouTube and X and Rumble, and a few others besides that out there. Jimmy, I don't think we're on Blue Sky. I'd have to ask Michelle, but I don't think we're on Blue Sky. Mainly because we haven't been asked. We go where we're asked. As far as podcasts, you can get us anywhere there's a podcast available. We're on every podcast broadcast system on the planet, as far as I know. We're all over China. We're all over Asia. We're in Russia. Even right now with the war going on, you can still listen to us in the Ukraine and in Russia. You still listen to us. Actually, our audience was a little bigger before the war started, but still, you can still listen to us. It's amazing to me. Look, wait till we get a moon base. You'll be able to listen to us up there too. When Elon finally gets to Mars, you'll be able to listen to us on Mars. It'll just be like a 15-minute delay or something, but you'll still get to listen to us. But anyway, John, how you been out there in LA, in the rainy city of LA?
It's been great getting some water. It's the air. It washes off all the accumulated stuff on the streets and sidewalks, and the air gets kind of clean. And so it's been nice for a little bit here. And we went for a walk, and I sent you that one picture overlooking Runyon Canyon where we were, and looking over the city, and it's all clean except for the clouds overcast. But it was one of those rare times that looked really nice and clear and everything like that.
Yeah, it's nice and cloudy out there. But I don't know. It's I've been to LA, I don't know, since I was in the Navy 30, 35 times maybe, and not one time has it ever been freaking raining. I've been there. And I've been there all times at different parts of the year and things. It's just it was funny because I remember my instructor when I was in San Diego for boot camp. It started raining for like 5 days. He said, "Joe, it never rains here." He said, "You brought the rain with you." I said, "Thank God, man," because it actually gets kind of hot in San Diego. I was kind of surprised for being a California city. Jeffrey, we're getting ready to get started in a minute. John's thinking about going to Mars with Elon. Yes.
Yeah.
We're thinking about it. No, he's not going to get to go because Emily's not going to let him.
She's packing some potatoes for me right now.
She's you came in the doghouse. No, actually, I decided. So John sent me some pictures recently, which I can't share with y'all, unfortunately for y'all. But I've decided when the end time comes, I'm going to hang out with him and Mrs. Jones. It's an inside joke, trust me. But I like people who like guns. Okay, let me rephrase that before I get 500 emails. I like people who responsibly like guns, okay? Yes, because I grew up in the Deep South with guns all around my life. Guns are dangerous. They can be murderous and kill people by the thousands. So you have to, if, and it's a big if, you're going to leave some places where you have to be responsible. And unfortunately, most of the world, I don't think, is there right now.
But then we've also proven, too, before we get on to introducing our special guest of the day, you can also turn a crock pot into a weapon of mass destruction. You can take,
I know.
It's just like the Boston Marathon like 10 years ago or so.
I know. It's ridiculous the things you can do now. Well, nowadays,
it's the people. It's not the weapons are like whatever. We've seen enough of these movies where you can take a safety pin and use that to rip out something, and you can it's like whatever.
And now we got these big fancy cars, so we'll just run people over. It's easy. But anyway, Dorothy, we apologize for getting off. And I do news on Friday nights, so it's hard to get it out of my system. We do a 4-hour news show on Friday nights. And following this show, I'm actually on 2 shows today. So following this, we have a show called The Chat, which is open format. But it's going to be news tonight because of, us going down there in Venezuela. So unfortunately, it's usually a fun show with just stupid stuff in it, food and all kind of retarded stuff, but unfortunately this is not. But this show is just strictly for the authors and illustrators of the world who want to get out and talk to. We love talking to people especially beginners, or pros. And I just like to talk to all of them. I guess it's a lot of fun. So Dorothy, how did you get here?
You mean onto Writers of the Future?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Or is this part of life? Either way, I'll go either way.
I wrote a short screenplay that did very well on the competition circuit, and then I didn't know what to do with it, so I thought I'm going to put it into a short story, and then where could I submit it? And my brother actually lent me a copy of Wolf Moon's book on
How to
writing
write
short
a
stories.
howlingly good story.
There it is, right
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And I joined his little group for a while, and I entered my first short story through that, and then it actually got disqualified. They said it's got to be able to go to school kids as well, but try again next time. So I just kept trying.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's like PG-13 to PG-17. That book.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was that.
Yeah,
Yes,
yes, the Wolf
yes.
Moon book here.
I'm gonna start charging Wolf $1 for every time I put this book out.
It's what's really exciting is that I've got 3 news outlets that I've been doing media with the last year to 2 years, and so finally getting somebody coming from South Africa is very exciting because it tends to because now we'll be able to generate a lot more media with you down there as a winner, which will help you, but it's also going to help other writers and illustrators, because we'll talk about both, to know that they've got an outlet that they can submit to and have a fair shake, because all the judges ever saw was your story and a number. They have no idea where you're from or anything.
Yeah, I'm actually quite excited too, because I saw one South African in the honorable mentions, and I thought, oh, I need to connect with that person and say, you must just keep trying. It's worth doing it. And I know 2 illustrators who are now so keen to take part. So that's really good.
Well, that's great. No, South Africa is definitely, it's changing a lot. There's been a lot of growth in that whole area there, and so it's very exciting that that we've been able to do a lot with this contest, promoting. We've got our books in distribution in several bookstores there in South Africa, the Writers of the Future. So we're continuing to promote that so people can see, wow, okay, I can be in here too, and to encourage reading and writing.
Absolutely.
So was your dream initially to be a screenwriter, or was it this is something you just did as an avocation to go along with your vocation as a nuclear scientist or something?
It's a very long-winded story. I've always been writing, and I opened a safe house for abused and trafficked women. And one of the women had such an exciting story and a very strange story. And as part of her therapy, we were writing down her life story. And then I said, this could actually be a movie. So I went and did a year screenwriting course just to learn how to do it. And that's how I got into that.
That's cool.
That's very cool. That's amazing too. We had another author. She was in the still is, I think, in the military. While we're talking, I'm trying to look up her name now. She's a nurse, and when in the military, she dealt with abused women who, in the military, who were raped, and dealing with all that. It was a very real problem. Yeah. And just her what she writes in her stories is also part of how she deals with just getting it off of her, get it off her chest, and just puts it into fiction. She writes space opera fiction, and I've got several, military people have done stuff, but she's, just a real sweetheart. But she's just was so torn because of what she ran into as a nurse on the field with, the stuff that happens. So, it's just kudos to you for what you're doing there and taking responsibility for, abuses, which do go on, and people, one is like, nah, you're just making it up, or nah, that's not really, you get so much, at least I see here in California, where things that are obviously wrong and very, very evil just get swept under the carpet, but yet still persists, so
Yeah.
this is good what you're doing there. So now that you've got this, like, what's your end game? What's your does this affect your goal in life now that you've got this taste of success as a writer?
Well, like I said, I've been writing for a while. So I've been writing novel after novel after novel, and then shelving them because, what do I know about writing novels? So I think I've got the courage now to actually put them together, and I've already started. So, bring them to completion.
Yeah. And what's good too is you're going to be in LA. So you're going to have the likes of Larry Niven, Orson Scott Card, Kevin Anderson, Tim Powers. We'll have about 20 different writer judges there that they're there for you. They're not there to come there and be, influential people. They're there to come there and help coach, the new writers, because they treat you as having won the contest, and you've made the grade now as a pro. This is a pro sale you just got. So now, as a professional writer, let's work with you and groom you, and like, what questions do you have, and what about this? And because have you taken the online writing workshop that we have on writersofthefuture.com?
That I did it right in the beginning. I think it was in 2022, because I actually forgot I took it. And when I went to go and look again, I thought it said, no, you've completed the thing. So there were some new videos that were on that I didn't remember seeing. So
there's two new videos we put up earlier this past year with Orson with Kevin Anderson, Nadia Corfort, and Rob Sawyer. So they each have a video, which is they're very, very well worth watching. And then I'm sending a thing around shortly to all the writers to make sure that you're familiar, you've refreshed all that stuff, because you're going to go into the workshop assuming that you've got those bases covered. That's covered in that. So now you can get the next level up, and that gives you the ability now to ask more questions about like what you're doing here. Okay, now I've got these novels. What do I do? How do I do this? Is it a series? Is it this? What about this? What about that? And they can totally help you. And they'll be excited to help you. Yeah.
I'm absolutely excited. I can't wait for that week.
Yeah. It'll be a lot of fun. And then when you're last, so do you have your dress picked out yet, or your suit, or whatever you're going to be wearing?
She's like, what? Don't feel bad. Most people don't, sweet. Just one of them things.
Yeah, because that's the gala is a pretty big deal. It's considered the Oscars of science fiction and fantasy.
It's a nice. They do a really good job. You'll be
we'll have about between 20 and 30 media, and we'll get South African media to show up. I mean, we have winners from 9 different countries this year, so that's pretty exciting. So that's all. It guarantees more media to come there on the red carpet, and then the gala. I'm working on the keynote speaker right now. But we'll get somebody good there. We always do. So,
who are we getting? Jason Samoa? I'm sorry. No, I had a joke for that, but I'm going to let that slide. I don't want to pick on him since he's big boy now. There's Joe, shut up. Okay, moving right along here.
Yeah. So now then, so where in South Africa do you live?
In a little village called Bedford in the Eastern Cape.
Okay. So, we've had, I think, 4 or 5 winners from South Africa. And I'm excited that you're going to be able to have, your visa and be able to come up here. Because sometimes we've had Illustrator winners before, which are young, extremely talented male illustrators, single, nothing to hold them there to South Africa. and nothing to give them a reason to be given a visa. So we couldn't get visas for them because, there was no assurance that they'd come back. So, so that's, so we're very excited to meet you as well. Not just to listen to your amazing accent, but to be able to meet you in person as well.
Is it that bad?
No, it's great. I love your accent. I love South Africa because I've only talked to people. I mean, I've had some people up here from South Africa. We have somebody else at the office from South Africa. She's lost a lot of her accent, but when I first met her, she sounded like you. And then, but we have a lot of winners usually from the UK, and so they come over with a very, depending on where the UK they are, they have really, like, accent. What'd you say? What'd you say? The very thick, accent. And then we've had many winners from Australia who've come here, and they've got their thick accent and their language, which is different. It's a different English.
Well, it's funny with Aussies. Some of them speak what I would call American English, and the other ones speak like, "What the hell are you saying?" No, man, speak English. We need an English for all the people who speak English.
Yeah, and then we got here in the United States. You got like me, where I consider it's just a real simple, the California Midwest English, and then you go there to the South, and you get people like Joe, who speaks.
You gotta love them Kuyon accents, man. which could be anything when I'm traveling. It gets weird when I'm on the road. My accent gets really shifty. I got a bad tendency to pick up accents when I'm traveling. So, and somebody said, "You like mocking people?" I said, "No, it's just unfortunate when I'm traveling. My brain just registers whatever I'm hearing." Yeah, I was hanging out with my Bostonian friends for a while after I came back from San Diego, and I already had my Kuyon accent. So everybody thought I was from England. I'm like, "What? So you sound like you're from England?" I'm like, "No, not even close." But hey, after hanging out with them guys all night from England, my accent was pretty rough in the morning. Yeah. It was I couldn't tell if I was Chris or because I was out one night with one Aussie and three boys from the UK. I don't know how anybody understood us anywhere, any club we went to. So you had the guy from the New Orleans, the guy from Australia, and the three guys from the UK. None of us speak good English. It must have been horrifying for them poor people. Just accents are great though. It's just, yeah. But remember, Dorothy, when you're there, there's when you see people you want to talk to, just walk up to them, because all the judges will tell you this themselves, and I'll tell you now, they're there for you. They want to talk to you. That's what they come there for that. It took me 3 whole seasons to get that stuck in my head. And don't trust me, I've talked to every judge that I've ever seen there. I've always asked them the same thing, and they're always telling me the same thing. No, we're there for them. So if you see a judge, and I tell this to every guest, and for some reason they make you nervous, just say, "Hey, Joe," and I'll introduce you to him. Or John, any of us stand there, we'll introduce them, because again, they really want to be there for you. It amazes me how much time they spend while they're there with the winners.
The winners, yeah.
They want to see y'all do well. I really think it's kind of, it's paying forward to them, but it's also kind of a little bragging rights too. Oh yeah, I helped them in their career when it was taken off. It's always a good thing when you know a rich and famous author in the future. Especially if you want
and what'll be fun too is that the after the gala, when you go to the book signing, you got the likes of Laurie Niven, Orson Scott Card coming up, and you say, "Can you please sign my book for me?" Mm-hmm. Wow. It's a definite thing. So, basically, how familiar are you with Writers of the Future?
I've probably spent 100 hours watching every video, the galas, the little short clips you've got, like educational things. I've really steeped myself in it already.
Oh, good. Okay, so you're familiar with that. So, what are you most looking forward to coming out to LA?
The workshopping.
Yeah,
absolutely, and the 24-hour story. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. You're also going to enjoy, I don't know how much you've got a space where you're around other creatives, other writers and artists, but here you're going to be in a space. We have 11 other winners, 12 illustrators, all the judges who are famous science fiction and fantasy authors, famous science fiction and fantasy illustrators, all in one space at the same time. And all that creative energy, just like it's just electrifying. You're just around people. You're just on fire with all this, creativity. I mean, Joe's gone there, and it's like, he doesn't write, and then he goes there and he pops out 5,000, 10,000 words just being in that space. Then he goes back home. It's like, how do I do that? It's like that one episode of Star Trek where Bones he gets this machine and it's so obvious, it's so simple. And he can then do all that surgery and operations and stuff. And then it starts to fade. Like, wait, how did I do that? What did I do? It's like when he goes back home, it's back to like that.
And it helps now because, now I've known these guys long enough now when I'm doing lectures, because I usually do, anywhere from 20 to 75 lectures a year. Anytime I'm out there now, someone always asks me about writers of the future, always, especially if I'm doing a political lecture, because it's usually for an English lit class or something. They always ask me about them. And then I tell them the story about John and I, which cracks them up. And then they I tell them how it all works. And they just they're like, wait, you get to meet who and you get to do what? And I was like, yeah. And I guess that, you know what, you get to do it on their ticket too, man. I'm like, Jesus, who does that? And you just see all their faces go, really? I'm like, oh yeah, because college kids are thinking they broke anyway. They're like, wait, I get a free trip to LA. Wait a minute, let me think about this.
Yeah.
But it's fun because, they identify, they know most of these writers. Especially a lot of people I'm going to be speaking to, whether it's for politics or some of the other stuff I do, they're going to be familiar with sci-fi writers and fantasy writers and stuff like that. So when they hear their names, they're like, it's like my co-host that hosts on the other show. Every time he hears, his name went right out of my face. Not Larry Warren. Mr. Dungeons and Dragons. Larry
Elmore.
Larry Elmore, yeah. And every time he hears his name, I'm like, Jay, are you okay? He's like, can I come on the show when he's on next time? I'm like, sure, man. You can come hang out. You can come ask him a question. He's like, really? Because I mean, it's funny to me because I know all these people and who they are, but I didn't grow up that way. I grew up a different way, and it's kind of crazy. But again, anytime you see any judge, it doesn't matter who they are, and you feel like you want to talk to them, let me know. I'll walk right up and introduce you. Besides, there's used to me being a pain in the ass anyway. So
there we go.
They're just like, it's Joe. What do you got, Joe?
So Dorothy, I'm curious. Are you familiar with any of the L. Ron Hubbard stories? Any of his fiction?
Not really. I did read a couple of them, but it was quite a while ago before I knew who he was. There was I had a mixed anthology with different stories in, and I remember we have people walking past here now.
Yeah.
Sorry. And so I'd be lying if I said I even remembered. What I did do though is I did get a copy of Typewriter in the Sky. So I want to tackle that pretty soon. I've never really been a big sci-fi person, not hard sci-fi. I lean more towards dystopian and soft stuff.
Well, dystopian, are you familiar with this one? Battlefield Earth.
Sorry?
Are you familiar with this one here, Battlefield Earth? Are you on video?
No, I know all about it, but I haven't.
It's definitely dystopian.
Yeah, no. Then I will read it before April.
Yeah, because
that's the famous one.
Yeah, and it takes place 1,000 years in the future, and Joe plays it twice a year in December. The audiobook that we have. It's a 42-hour audiobook with about 67 actors and 150,000 sound effects. Wow. It's like listening to a movie. It's it's just amazing, all the voices and stuff. Yeah,
it's funny. I get people call me and ask me, can I rewind it? I'm like, what do you mean, can I rewind it? We just ain't 8 tracks, man. What are you talking? It ain't cassettes. It can't be rewinding. Nothing. It's digital. You say, no, I can't do that. The people are listening.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you where you can go get it, and you can listen to it that way.
Yeah. It's only on Audible. It's only one credit on Audible, which is an amazing.
Is it on Audible? Okay.
Yeah. It's just really, really good, and it takes place 1,000 years in the future after the Voyager gets picked up by a recon drone, and because the Voyager has a map of where Earth is in the solar system and in the galaxy on gold, and they say, okay, it's a very valuable metal, and so they sell the rights to Earth to Intergalactic Mining, who sends gas drones and wipes out the Earth. And now we're 1,000 years in the future, only a few remaining humans alive, and so the whole thing is like they're trying to take back the planet, and how they do it, because they've been reduced down to very they're very scared, and these aliens are the gods, because they fly over and all this stuff here, and so it's pretty intense, but then it's done very well as a book, well over 4 million copies sold, and still is one of the strongest selling books that we've got. Thanks in part to Joe with how he continues to promote it. And
well, I love this book. Well, I love the audiobook. To me, it's great. And I said this to a friend of mine the other night because he was giving me trouble about audiobooks. We were on one of the shows. You can do that. Why do you want to listen to an audiobook? You lose something when you're doing an audiobook. I said, no, you actually gain something. He's like, what do you mean? I said, they have sound effects, man. He's like, what? And I'm like, yeah. I said, I don't even have to use my own imagination. I get freaking sound effects. He's like, that's cheating. It's like, but it does. But for people like John and my wife and people like that who read at warp speed, the audiobook is a much slower way to go through it. I mean, you have to go through, whatever the time it says. So like with Battlefield Earth, it is truly 44 hours that you have to go through if you want to get through the whole book the way you're supposed to. Now, I mean, you can watch the 3-hour movie, but you lose a lot.
Yeah.
You lose a lot. Probably half the book you lose in the movie, which you get to see John Travolta running around looking like a crazy person. You can't go wrong with that. It's interesting, but it's that, and then I like Mission Earth just as much. I give John trouble about it because the first season's a little slow because they're doing a lot of character building, but after that it really picks up, and it's but I also listen to that too. I didn't read it, so that's kind of
I enjoy listening to audiobooks. Do you listen to audiobooks, Dorothy?
A lot.
Yeah.
Because when you've got to do like housework or cooking or stuff like that, that's precious reading time. So now I've learned to put earbuds in, and that's how I listen.
Smart. Yeah.
I
like audiobooks. Yeah, I like listening to them. It's just because of the podcast that I have. I'm sometimes have to read like a book a week to prepare for the next guest, because I've been doing the podcast for like 7 years now, and we just uploaded episode 361 last night. And it's so while I like to listen to audiobooks, I can read like 3, 4, 5 times faster than I can listen, and I can get through the book, because I won't interview an author unless I've actually read one of their books. And I don't really have the luxury of time to listen to a book before I do the next interview. So sometimes I'll have one audiobook going for, like I said, just doing chores type stuff. And then the other one, if I'm preparing for a podcast, I'm just like locked and loaded, just, okay, I got to get through this thing here so I can then put together the questions, send the questions to them, get them to agree on it, and then just do the interview. So it takes a bit more out of that. But so you like dystopian science fiction? That's your genre of choice?
Yes. I have, in some of my stories that I was submitting, I did lean more sci-fi. I'm not a science person at all, but the one thing I've learned with I suppose all fiction, but especially with sci-fi, and whether it's dystopian or whatever, is that you can say a lot of things that you can't say normally, because you couch it in all sorts of other stories and stuff, and then you can actually have your say, and people will still talk to you because it's just a story.
Yeah, well, that's a big reason why it's so popular and why it's so effective, is because you can take current events or current affairs or current issues like what you deal with down there in South Africa. You can take that, put it into another planet, into another time. You can switch the things around. You know what you're talking about. Everything's the same. You just change the setting or the time or the race.
Extrapolate it. Take it further. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have alien races instead of humans, and you can and then you can evaluate different things that you can't otherwise talk about because you just get excoriated by one side or the other.
Yeah, exactly. And you kind of want to stay in the middle. You don't want to alienate anyone.
Yeah. Well, that's a smart perspective to have, especially as an author. If you expect to really grow as an author, you can't, unless you've already that stable as an author with a base that is strictly right or strictly left or strictly blue or strictly green, then go for it. But otherwise, as soon as you say, I hate blue, then anybody else that likes blue is going to say, okay, I'm not interested in Dorothy. So, and it doesn't really do any good. I mean, with Rise of Future, I keep it very much like you're saying, right down the middle. I don't go, Joe's a bit different. He hates on both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
He's a centralist. So he's on his politics. He can hate Democrats.
Equal opportunity hater. That's what I am.
Exactly. Equal opportunity. I, on the other hand, stay clear of that stuff. I'll talk to Joe about stuff, with microphones off, or at least with recorders off, so that I can share my viewpoint. I'm registered independent. I'm here in the land of the blue here in Hollywood. And so it's very ultra left here. So I just kind of stay muzzled on my political perspective, and I'm about, let's get all the creative writers who can write a chance to be heard, which is what Edwin Hubbard originally created the contest for. It wasn't to have a political stance. It was just, okay, this is for writers. And then 5 years later, we started the contest for artists. So if you're talented and the judges select you, then, more power to you. And I can say, Godspeed. And if you're saying, I don't believe in God, then okay, good, then just go fast, So I just keep it real simple on stuff and very, bland on that type of stuff. I'll be very, very outspoken on the subject of, with you as you do your stuff. I'll be like, go Dorothy, and set off all the cheering squads after you, and that'll be a fun stuff. I mean, that's a good thing to do anyway. That it doesn't happen near enough in the world. So let's take advantage that we got people here that will do that and want to be able to cheer you on.
No, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's fun because you get to meet all these other crazy people, man. Jesus. There's a lot of creativity. I always just like to watch because there's BarCon or LobbyCon. We call it both. It just depends on the individual, but everybody's downstairs in between things and either eating because some people sit and have a cocktail, but usually they serve food down there in both places so you can sit and eat and just chit chat, and everybody just sits around and chit chats and talks about different things. Matter of fact, was it last year before I was sitting talking with Leslie Dean, myself, Tom Wood, and Kevin J. Anderson. And we were chit-chatting. And I guess we were making everybody nervous because nobody would walk over. There was like a table, and I looked up, and there's like 7 people standing in there. I said, I'll be right back, guys. And I wanted to make sure we finished the conversation. It was kind of a private conversation. And I walked over and got him. I said, well, I'll see y'all later. I'm going to my hotel room now. But they would just, and they sat there and they talked. When I came down 2 hours later, they were still down there all talking together. And they would snack and eat and, and talk.
Yeah. Anybody you're looking forward to meeting more than others, Dorothy?
Well, I don't know who's all going to be there.
Yeah. Well, let's just see. You're going to have, I'll just start. We got Kevin J. Anderson.
Well, I would like to meet him, definitely, because I've started, I watched some of his stuff on YouTube actually quite a while ago about dictating. So I've started that, and wow, that has just opened up my ability to write quickly. It took a while, but wow, I'm getting like 3,000 words in a couple of hours in the mornings now.
Yeah, that's good. So you got what he's saying there. That's good.
Oh yes. I don't walk in the mountains and stuff. I just sit at home and do it. But it's just total game changer.
That's good. And then Orson Scott Card and Nina Creaky Hoffman. I think Nancy Kress will make it this year. Catherine Kurtz. Tom McCaffrey, I think, is in Ireland now. Rebecca Mesta. Larry Niven. Jody Lynn Nye.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I think Nettie's probably coming. Nettie at Core4. Tim Powers, he's going to be one of your co-instructors along with Jody. Let's see, Robert J. Sawyer. I think Rob's coming, but he might be a guest of honor in other conventions too. But I'm not sure. Steve Sterling, SM Sterling. So those will be the writer judges there, and then we have a similar type of a lineup of the illustrator judges that will be there. But then we also have past winners that are there too that will help. Sometimes they're easier to talk to as a bridge. You might not be a problem for you, but some winners are very self-conscious about talking to their heroes, their writer heroes. So a good bridge over is the first readers that are there and the past winners that come that like to be able to help and introduce the winners and join in the conversations and stuff. But you're going to find Tim Powers. He's won World Fantasy Award 3 times. Just an amazingly nice man. And he loves teaching and he loves, meeting his new writers. Scott Card, he does it because he wants new stuff to read. So you see, I need to read stuff too. So I want to make sure that I can, know that I'm going to have some good reading material down the road for me. So he's been doing this since almost 40 years. He's been a judge. Tim Powers since 40 years. Kevin Anderson over 30 years. So we got a lot of guys that are just very excited about helping, new writers and new artists. So that'll be. And if you're able to stay up past 9 o'clock at night type thing, then you're going to, the bar con, as is referred to, or lobby con, goes on till 11, 12 o'clock at night, where you're just there chatting once the workshop's over. You're just there. Everybody's just there, and you just become a real solid group, so you friends for life. We got people back from Dean Wesley Smith, who was the first person in Volume 1, is still friends with Nina Creaky Hoffman, who'll be here. She was a winner in Volume 1. She's been a judge for 30 plus years. And so we just have, it's quite the dynamic that gets created with this, that you'll have these other people you can talk to and work with and relationship with judges, and they'll help you with, I have a question, can you help introduce me to somebody, or, there'll be editors here. So you'll just be able to just take advantage of this to get, communication lines that you can help to forward your career with, which would be great.
No, I'm going to milk every moment, I promise you. And that's why I'm really excited. I'm not really worried about the gala event. That, to me, that's just the worst thing ever. But yeah, I'll do that.
The gala's easy. It's easy. Everybody looks good. Everybody's happy, By then, everybody's got a few cocktails in them, so they're all smiling. So it's good.
No.
It's good. It's good. No, really and truly, you're going to spend some time outside with the press. Yeah. Now I won't be bugging y'all on that. I'll be bugging you the whole week, but on that particular day, I won't be bugging you. I'll just be walking around, making sure the press is treating you right, so I don't have to smack nobody. But other than that, that's all you'll see of me. And now I may bug family and friends somewhere along the line because I like to get So I'll get copies of when y'all signed the books on the signing day originally. But a lot of times when I meet people's families, most people introduce me, say, mom, dad, brother, sister, grandma, whoever. I usually have them sign the book too, just so it's unique in itself. But it's nice. It's comfortable. Everybody's very friendly. All the press is very friendly. Nobody's going to be rude or out of line. So, it's just like the judges are there for you during the event. The press is there for you. They're not there to make it look dumb or anything else. They're there just to help you shine in this particular moment. You get inside, everything's pretty and set up. It's nice. You can thank Emily for that because she's working her ass off the whole time. But the food's good. I've never seen anybody pass out on stage, so that's a plus right off the bat. Everybody's done well.
The main thing about it is that we try to do this stuff. I feel like, the gala, you'll end up with a clip of your thing in there where when someone wants, as you get more established as a writer, that gives you more street cred as an author too. This is her, and when we book you for media, it makes it easier too, because they say, okay, who is this person? Then they see it, like, okay, good. This is good. So we don't do media for the sake of media. The media is done for the sake of getting you a little bit of a, here I am. And so then when people want to search you, they can find you, and they'll find good stuff about you, because it'll surface high on Google searches. It's all premeditated, trying to help launch careers. I mean, that's why when it was originally created by Mr. Hubbard in '83, we've continued with that. And I don't know if you've listened to the podcast at all, the Rise of Future podcast, but I have the winners all as I'll do 3 or 4 or 5 different podcast interviews, and I'll get a whole group of people together, and we'll talk about, what it was like this week and what the event was like, and just get the idea of talking, being on the podcast. That was last year. So
a hurricane for the boat while we're talking.
Yeah. And just so you know, the guy that created that artwork, that was a piece that wasn't chosen by Disney for Treasure Planet. He was the art director for Treasure Planet, along with a lot of other things too for Disney. So that was one of his art pieces. And so this year,
it's beautiful.
Yeah, we have another amazing. All of our judges are amazing. So the cover this year is gorgeous. And we'll have that cover reveal on the 28th of April, and that invitation will be going out shortly to all the winners, and then we'll be promoting it for people to come on and see. And that's where we reveal the actual cover for volume 42. And then Scott Card will be there too. He's the one that wrote the short story this year for that cover art. And so they'll both, Ciarello, who's in Spain, and Scott Card will be there on that Zoom event to reveal it and to talk about it. And then all the winners will be there too. So that'll be fun.
Lots of little places to eat and snack and stuff. Everybody's been there. Hopefully we'll get to see you when we're doing the 4, because sometime and probably in about a month, Carmen will start booking everybody 4 at a time. So he'll do all the authors 4, 8, 12. That way you get to meet some of the authors before you get there, and some of the illustrators for that matter. And all of those are posted. So if you just want to go watch and see who the other ones are, they're all posted. Other things too, as these shows progress, because you'll end up doing 3 or 4 shows with us on our network. You're allowed to use these shows for anything you want. Okay, so they're just as much yours as there is ours. We do this for Writers of the Future and for y'all. So the shows are public venue shows. We don't hold you to any copyright on the shows, at least not on the shows that y'all have done. So, because we do have a lot of times. Authors will come on and plug new books, or we'll have illustrators on showing their artwork. So it's a good way for someone who wants to get to know who you are. You just send them a link and say, here you go, or put it on your own website or your own place and say, here, go take a look. See, I'm bad. What's that, James? Oh. No, we don't have no beautiful pages, man.
I'm just so amazed and flabbergasted at how giving this contest is in every way possible.
Those are
just giving. That's just what I pick up all the time. It's just amazing.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, it's something that it was originally created by Mr. Hubbard when he launched this thing. So we've just continued with that. And so he put in at that point, he directed that the contest continue to be funded through his estate. And so that's why it's free to enter. There's, the judges are flown out, you're flown out, the hotels, he pays for all that stuff out of it from his estate. He's long since passed since '86, but he made sure, and this year is 42. And there's been probably upwards of $2 million worth of his estate funds have gone in to pay for this contest and the awards, just in the awards and flights and stuff, let alone the contest administrator putting on the event. It's a very elaborate event. I'll just use that word. And but it creates a really good, launch for careers, and that's the purpose of it. And you're in the year that we broke 1,000. So this is 1,000 winners now. with Year 42. And if you're very familiar with science fiction, Hitchhiker's Guide to the
42.
Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're also going to play off on that too this year with Life, Universe, and everything. That'll be fun too. That little, we're going to work little Easter eggs in throughout the event on that too.
But really and truly, it was hard when I met John, when he was telling me all this stuff. I was like, you are so full of you know what, man. I was just like, nobody does this. Get the bleep out of here. I did. I gave him all kind of trouble about it. It was just because I've been to a lot of contests. I've been to a lot of different things over the years. I've been in media for 30 years, and I've been in other parts of the media for more like 45. So most of the time when people tell me it's too good to be true, it usually turns out to be too good to be true. But in this case, it wasn't. So any chance I get a chance to plug them, I always do. It's rare that you can. Plus, they're helping literacy, which is one of my favorite things, and my network's favorite things to do is to help. I mean, I live in Louisiana and Mississippi, so anything we can do to help literacy is a plus. These people think reading is, the word on the Coke can. That's what they read. This other stuff here in the bag, don't make no sense to them. It's a good thing. What's that, Jimmy? Writersfuture.com. Just go over there, click on submit. Well, I would take the course first. I've actually taken a course 3 times. Well, no, I never write the story at the end. That's the problem. You let Dorothy's laugh, and she knows. It's I never said I was a writer, so you can't go there with me. I'm just having fun. And I enjoy meeting all these authors. I mean, y'all, because I was always told authors were introverted. BS, man. Authors are not introverted. My longest interviews are with authors, some of them 3 hours.
Yeah.
If you could talk about writing, then the introversion goes. And I think that's what's also going to be nice that week is talking to people who want to talk about writing. I mean, that's hard to find.
Yeah, no, you're going to really love that. Carmen just texted me saying Steven Spinas was an Illustrator of the Future winner from volume 37 from Cape Town, South Africa. So he was one of these single, very talented, young, good-looking artists that had nothing anchoring him to South Africa. So he never got that visa. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do that with him. So, I mean, if he would have been married, if he would have had a regular job, something, anything like that, but he was a freelance artist that was doing his thing. So he was a free spirit, still is, very talented.
Who's this Carmen fellow you keep talking about?
He's the guy that got us connected up with Dorothy. So
sometimes I think he's like a figment of imagination or something.
No, you don't.
A really tall figure.
So now with because I imagine Dorothy will be turning into a pumpkin. I mean, I'm not sure what her normal waking hours are, but right now it's midnight for her down there in South Africa.
Dude, it is getting late, huh? That's true. It's one of the fun things about these calls sometimes is just knowing the difference in time between us. It's New Year's Eve. I was talking to a friend of mine in Australia. He's like, well, Joe, it's not New Year's Eve. I said, it is for me, idiot. It's New Year's Day for you. I said, it's New Year's Eve for us too. He said, really? Y'all ain't had New Year's Eve? He said, I said, no, not yet, man. I said, no. But we pick back and forth because we got a lot of our guests are on that side of the planet. So it's weird these days. Like I said earlier in the show, it's just weird because we can communicate anywhere now. Doesn't matter. Hell, I was talking to somebody in a country I ain't even going to mention on a cell phone, which I was stunned they even had a cell phone. They didn't even have water in this country and had a cell phone. I was like, get out of here, man. It's too much. But you'll have a good time in LA. And it is, after all, it is LA. There's things to look at and do and see and eat and talk. And there's lots of people. And I did like the 24-hour story. It's for me personally, it's one of my favorite things to watch. First off, I love to watch Jody and Deb together. They crack me up. They're great together. And then they don't always do it, but they've done it most of the time. And then they told me they're going to throw it down the stairs. I said, you're not going to throw it downstairs. He walks outside and flings it down.
Yeah, we take all the different stories, that you guys write, the 24-hour stories. So we get them, we print them off. You send them in to we give you a link and you send them there, and then we print them off, and then Tim and Jody will look through them, and then they go to the top of the stairs, and they'll toss them down the stairs, and whichever goes the furthest down are the ones that get selected for workshopping.
Yeah, the other ones that get
So the next
tortured.
morning, they close the doors, and they do 2 or 3 different stories that get passed out to all the winners, and you workshop them. And so it's just a real
intense.
fun experience. Yeah,
It's a lot of fun to watch. And frankly, I've learned a lot sitting through that course. I've learned a lot in a couple of them, like when they were showing you how to come up with certain types of ideas or how to formulate ideas. Because I had no clue how to. I said, how do freaking writers even come up with ideas? I mean, I can see if like a story pops into your head. That's one thing. But a lot of the authors I know don't do it that way. They just sit down, like a good friend of mine, he sits down 9 to 5. He goes, he gets in front of his computer every morning, takes lunch, goes to lunch, comes back, works 5, gets done. And he says what he does is he just picks items to write about. And I got another friend, he only writes stories that comes to his head. I mean, he said he gets the whole damn story. So like, okay. So I guess that's why I'm not an author.
yeah. So I'm just curious, Dorothy, how many times did you enter the contest before you won?
I think I had the one disqualification. I had the one where it was, thank you for entering. Please enter again next time. And then I had 2 honorable mentions and a silver.
And then
So the third quarter this year was a silver.
Yeah.
And then this, I didn't, even as I wrote the story and submitted it, it was the furthest thing from my mind that it would be anywhere near good enough.
It's funny. That's various people have won. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to write my story and just send it, and thinking, okay, this will get nowhere. Then that's the one that gets chosen as the winner. It's just like your subconscious is you're just totally
you're not overthinking the story.
You're just creating your story, and not into all this other self-invalidation, self-evaluation. And what about this? I got to connect the dots and make sure all this,
it must be sci-fi enough or sound good enough. I was listening to one of the Writers of the Future audiobooks, and there was an article in it, an L. Ron Hubbard article, where he was saying, talking about writing about where you are and what you know. And and I still thought to myself, okay, well, what do I know? What's going to come easy for me? So I wrote a story about people in the townships and people that I actually know in Bedford. And that's why I thought it'll never get anywhere. But I had such a wonderful time doing it. It was great fun. And then, did so well.
Well, that's what we're communicating then, is that you were totally, involved with it. You were totally like, the story itself was a great story, because you yourself were very much involved with it. And so it makes it easy for the readers to get involved with it too. You weren't trying to be, okay, I need to have a secondary clause here to go with the first primary predicate, which is connected to the nominative case versus the, it's like blah, 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 blah. Tell me a story, so you told a story. And it's funny, he talks about, I think in that article too, he talks about, somebody else comes in, you're in your town, oh, there's nothing special here. And then somebody else comes in, sees the guys at the corner drugstore and talks to them and writes a story, becomes a big bestseller, said, how'd you do that? It's like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Why didn't I do that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a tiny town. We have one bank and a tiny little supermarket. There's nowhere to buy clothes unless you buy it from one of these discount Chinese shops. It's like nothing happens here.
Yeah.
It's really, really a small little town, little village in between mountains. So I made it happen.
Yeah, it's true. And then, then all of a sudden you find out that underneath that single simple bank then is the nest of the alien Vespers that are there on their way to take over the world. And so this is what's underneath the bank in your little small nothing town, and all of a sudden it becomes anyway. Or not.
Aliens have taken over.
Exactly.
I know I sent you. So I had to pop around. I was in a whole different place than y'all for a second. I was just making sure I sent the other guest.
Yeah. So anyway, so we're going to be, like Joe was saying, we'll be inviting you sometime either later on this month or in February. We'll be on with 3 other winners. So we have 4 winners at the same time, all chatting away on, what we're looking forward to and just all kinds of subjects. But you're going to be getting to see more people there and catch more of the winners that you're going to be there with, which makes the workshop start faster. Because that first night when we have the meet and greet, you've already kind of like seen a lot of the people or several of them. And so the ice has already been broken. So it's a lot faster to get into the meat of the workshop and not, okay, who's that? Should I say who I am? Or I don't, it's like, that's all over with, which is really good. That's something that helped when Joe started doing this thing.
Yeah, it makes it way easier for y'all. It makes it easier for us too, but it makes it easier for y'all. Because it does give you someone, you can say hi to when you get there. You're not just completely like, oh, okay, well, and you'd be surprised how many relationships happen and stay. I mean, a lot of these guests, these winners I'm still talking to from 7 years ago, from the end of COVID, and just still friends with a lot of people. Not just that, but they've managed to make crossover friends. So it's kind of strange. Like April knows everybody. I think she knows all the winners of the last 4 or 5 contests.
She's been nicknamed Dragon Lady. She's just an amazing artist. She does the most awesome dragons.
She is. And
so Joe dubbed her the Dragon Lady, but she's so personal. She's such a beautiful girl and very easy to get to know and just
very talented. She is. But like I said, I mean, a lot of these people you're going to meet, and she does attend. A lot of times you'll see her, like she'll be up at Dragon Con or somewhere like that, or different places. So she's seeing some of the artists that are just won and things like that. So she gets to meet them. She can tell them run for the mountains or something. Run quick, run. No, it's really you should have a great time while you're there. I mean, everybody is just so friendly. I used to pick on John. I always tell him when we're just waiting for somebody to jump out of a closet with an axe or something, man. They're really nice people. And frankly, I don't know how they can be as nice as they are and work as much as they do. I'd be like, leave me alone, people. Go do something with yourself. Go find something. You're in Los Angeles. Can't you find something to do? No, they're just really nice people.
Now, one last question before we sign off here is, have you been to South Africa Comic Con?
No, I haven't.
It's really grown. We were special guests when it was first beginning. This is just before the COVID. That's when it started. And then during the COVID year, we were as a special guest, and I had videos that were part of the opening ceremony and stuff from Rise of the Future and Battlefield Earth. And then we had a booth there with a big Battlefield Earth background and stuff. And so we saw a lot of books there. So I got to see if we're doing that again this coming year. But it's a big venue, and now that you're going to get yourself more known as an author, now that you're getting published, and we're going to set up book signings for you. So I've got 3 accounts I'm going to be writing to get you scheduled to do media with them. And there's one guy, Algoa FM, is a radio station. It's not super big, but it's a radio station. And then the station manager has become a friend over the years. He loves Writers of the Future. So it's going to be he'll have just a total hoot and a half, working with you.
Well, because that's our radio station. That's what we listen to here. Yes.
Oh, that's great. Oh, good. I'll be writing to him and telling him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So, no, that's really good. Let's see his, let me see I forget his name. It's, where'd you go? Come on. I'll go.
Warp speed, Scotty.
Mio Kondleka. He's there in Bokasson Valley, South End, Ggeberha, Gebera.
Yeah. Gqeberha.
So.
Except I didn't put the click in. It's got to have a click in the beginning.
Like the Klingon, man. Got to put a Klingon in it.
But
Cabrera.
we've got our own thing on.
Wait,
Cabrera.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's
But anyway, so I'll definitely write to him and let him know that we have a winner from there, because I'm sure he's going to want to do something with you in studio as well as over the radio. But this is very exciting. I mean, of course, I'm going to tell him because of what he's done the last couple of years. We have a winner now from that listens to you, and he'll be totally pumped.
From the Eastern Cape, from a tiny little village, a rural village. He's going to love that.
He will totally love that.
Oh yeah, it's nice to know those are listening.
No, he's going to be totally flipped out.
I remember when I got my first email from Timbuktu, and I'm like, wait, this is a real place? I thought this was in the cartoons, man. So it's really a real place? Get the hell out of here. It was a long time ago, but still, it was kind of like, wow. And, we get like Yazoo City and places you're like, really? Okay. I didn't know these were real, but hey, that works for me. It is nice, though, because when you get reached, like in America, we reach 400 plus cities in America. I don't know how many we do around the world. I know we're on 200 worldwide servers, representing more than about 400 cities. So as far as I know, we're in every country in the world. This show isn't, but there's a couple in the network that are. This show is in about 165 countries around the world. You can find us. If you got true internet, you can find us in any country in the world. But if you just got regular, because a lot of countries are funny about how they restrict U.S. internet. But since one of our server feeds, damn, lose my voice, goes through China and one goes through Asia, those feeds aren't restricted. They just think they come from Asia and China for some reason. I guess they don't realize everybody's speaking American. So we don't look a gift horse in the mouth. If it works, it works. It's and then we have listeners in North Korea of all places. We're gonna have more listeners in Venezuela after the day too. We already had some down there. We're gonna have more now, and we do have listeners in South Africa. If I was in the other computer, I could actually tell you how many. It's
but today Dorothy will have right around 4 million. Maybe I'll send you an email with
today
how many listeners we've got for today.
We're through the holidays now, so we're back to our regular listenership. On the holidays, weekends during the holidays are rough. Everybody's out partying, drinking, eating, doing whatever, and we're early shows on the weekdays. So Saturdays and early days, everybody's out. I was talking to my sister-in-law the other day. She's like, I'm not listening. She said, I'm at lunch. It's like, what? She said, yeah, I'm having a late lunch with a friend of mine. I was like, well, you told me to let you know when this show is on. But it is kind of strange, but it does well. I mean, worldwide. And I tell my host and our listeners, it may be 4:00 in the afternoon here, but like for you, it's midnight. For people in Australia, it's 9 in the morning, or 7 in the morning. It's just wherever you happen to be, you can listen to us. And guys, don't forget, we are syndicated and we're on podcast. So if you can't catch us live, you can catch us on one of the podcasts. You most certainly can. Oh, look at this guy down here. This guy looks all good down here. Sean, how you doing, man?
Unmute.
Yeah, you'd think after kind of a couple of years of COVID and being on Teams every day of the week that I'd understand how to work on my.
Oh, I do it myself. Don't feel bad, man.
Anyways, we got Dorothy here from South Africa just after 12:15 in the morning for her, so she's about ready to rip off her thing and have her nightgown just all of a sudden float.
It's midnight. Yeah, usually at midnight I get Linda to bring me a cup of coffee like last night. I was like, bring me some coffee. We got another 2 hours to go. Yeah. But it's always good. Well, Sean, welcome to the show. How you doing, man? Where are you?
I'm in the UK, so it's about 10:15 here. So yeah,
in the bloody
Wow,
UK.
this is pretty international.
yeah.
It's they got these two guys from the UK who are in America. They've been coming back and forth to America. These two guys crack me up. They're becoming converts. You better get them under control. They fast becoming converts, but they are funny. Louisiana made them an ambassador to the state the other day. I was cracking up. I don't know what these guys are doing. I think all they're doing is really driving across the country talking about food. But
I can think of worse things to talk about.
Yes. Well, I mean, they're making good money. They're getting paid on an X and on YouTube, and they're traveling all the way. For some reason, the Brits put a little stop on their visa for a while. I don't know. Maybe they thought they were terrorists or something. I'm not sure what happened there, but they denied them to come back in the last 2 times. I think they'd let them come back this time. But yeah, it's all they do. I mean, they fly over here and talk about the weather, talk about the food. It's just. I think he's just trying to show everybody the difference between how it is to live in England and how it is to live in America. And you know what? A lot of us already know it's different. It's kind of strange. So man, nice to have you on the show. So,
Dorothy, if any point you need to ring off here, that's totally fine. I'm not sure what your normal waking hours are on. So if
she looks like a vampire, man.
Joe,
just saying. Most of the authors I meet are not real good going to bed early people. I don't know what that's about. Some of them are. There's a couple of them that go to bed for 9 o'clock. I think I go to bed nights morning 4:30 a.m. I think is when I went to bed.
So Sean, so we talked to Dorothy, and she had entered. This is probably her 7th time but when she submitted this story here, it was like, this will never get anywhere, which I've heard that so many times over the years, that exact same, wording there. So for yourself, what was your journey like to becoming a winner?
Well, yeah, I've submitted a few times over the years, never quite as regularly as I was intended. I always had better intentions. So the first time I entered, I got an honourable mention, which I was really, really pleased with. And then afterwards, it just seemed to nosedive. And then suddenly I got the call out the blue, and it was like, oh my God, I've actually seemed to be in the running for this. So that was an incredible experience. And I'm sure Dorothy relates something quite similar.
Yeah. What's exciting this year too is we have winners from 9 different countries. They'll be coming here in April. And then the end of February, we're having the cover reveal. So you'll see what the cover is, painted by an amazing artist named Ciruelos in Spain. And then the short story against the cover is written by Orson Scott Card. And he'll be here as well for the workshop week. And so how familiar are you within the goings on for what happens when you come out in April?
Well, I've obviously been doing some homework, so I've watched kind of the previous event, and I've obviously read up about kind of everything else that happens and stuff. I'm not totally sure I've digested it all, and I want to go through and reread an awful lot of stuff about it. But yeah, I think it's slowly sinking in, but it looks like quite an amazing event.
Yeah, it's a serious deal, just a workshop, which is what Dorothy was most looking forward to when coming out, and the gala was at the bottom of her list, and workshop at the top.
I'm just sold on the glitz.
What's that?
I'm just sold on the glitz.
It's everybody looks good. I mean, everybody's either in ball gowns or tuxes or something in between.
I won't look good in a ball gown.
It's I mean, not me either.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Okay, good.
I'm kind of scary in a ball gown, but still, no, I mean, it's very elegant. It's very laid back. Everybody looks good. You get to sit and rest while John gets up there and talks for 3 hours and stuff, and 4 hours. I don't know. It's like 5 hours or something. I've lost count. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, to be honest with you, he doesn't talk that much. He doesn't really. No. We got this other lady who comes up there. I'm not going to mention her name because she might hurt me.
He's got 3 people in line waiting in queue to be able to hurt him.
Because I always call her by a different name other than her own. So we're just going to leave it alone. But no, really, in all fairness, the gala is really nice. It's really fun. It's really laid back. You're outside. They're serving a little food while you're out there dealing with the press. All the press is really nice. They're going to get you out there and just take pictures. The weather's usually...
It fluctuates. Sometimes it gets kind of hot up there, which is unfortunate, but
I think the hottest has been like 80. The coolest has been in the low 70s. But when you dressed up for the girls, I mean, a lot of them were wearing ball gowns, so their shoulders are out now, so it's probably not as hot on them. But the guys are all in tuxes, and I'm in 3-piece tux, so it's not exactly air conditioned, so it gets a little warm. But I mean, you go inside, and there's lots of shade. You don't have to stand in the sun. There's lots of shade out there. And like I said, they are serving food while you're waiting hors d'oeuvres and stuff like that. And then you pile in. It's all nice and air conditioned. Get inside and sit down, have your dinner, watch everybody get up there and talk, and then you get up there and get to do your own thing. Don't remember 2 speeches though, people. 2, no, only 1, huh? I get confused sometimes. It's what's that, Jesse? No, you gotta be a winner. You can't just show up. They won't let you in. They're not gonna let you in, dude. You be in a talk, they ain't gonna matter. They still ain't gonna let you. They're gonna, who the hell is this guy? And don't tell me you know me because I'm a deny. I would say I know this guy. No, it's really nice. I mean, everybody's really nice. And when you get over to Author Services, you're gonna go over there during the week. It's really nice over there. I don't know if they're gonna do their show over there like they do almost every year.
We'll have our theater again. We do a live radio theater show.
That's a blast to sit and listen to.
Yeah, we get Hollywood actors come. We do the live, or they're acting the stories out, which is really good.
And then there's a 24-hour story, which Dorothy and I were talking about a little while ago. That's always fun. It's I always like to sit there and listen to them critique everything, because I mean, you learn so much in that 2 hours or 3 hours that you're sitting in that class with them, and because they go over a lot of material, and it's easier on y'all because y'all actually know what the hell they're talking about. I'm thinking, what the hell does this mean? Now that I've been there a few years, I kind of understand what most of it means now. But in the beginning, I'm like, what the hell is he talking about?
Yeah,
it's but it's
nice. It's a, like, for yourself. Do you have anything in particular that you're most looking forward to?
Yeah, the whole experience really. But I mean, I think kind of it's kind of, the brain oscillates between the sublime to the ridiculous. So, for example, you're talking about the heat, and it's the depths of freezing British winter at the moment. So just the sunshine is going to be a bonus. But in terms of everything else, then, as Dorothy, I'm sure, has said, the whole workshop itself just looks like such a phenomenal experience. You mentioned Orson Scott Card before, and I absolutely loved Ender's Endgame. So it's a chance to sort of meet some real sci-fi heroes. So
Larry Niven will be there. This is his favorite event of the year. It's taught by your 2 main instructors are Jody Lanai and Tim Powers. And Tim Powers is a 3-time World Fantasy Award winner. Kevin Anderson will be there talking. He's the one that's done on the Dune prequels and is the script writer for the Dune TV series. So he's just sold another. I don't think he hasn't announced it yet, but he just sold another TV series on one of the series he writes. So he's all excited about that. And just some amazing writers and artists on both sides of the coin. They're just, they're amazing people, because they're chosen as judges because they like to help. That's when I pick a judge, it's because they've got a track record of helping and wanting to help other writers. Or maybe they're teachers, maybe they're just, you're always there trying to lend a helping hand. So that's one of the first qualifications for me to even want to ask somebody who's an award-winning author. So you got to have both those things put together to make it really work. And so, because I've talked to some people which are amazingly successful writers, would like to become a judge, said, I don't really like helping other people. I don't like working with other authors. I said, okay, well, great. I love your stories. Keep on writing them. And they're nice people, but they're not into that dynamic of helping other writers. And so
it takes a defect in your personality to want to help others.
Your speaker's on. You need to turn it off.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn it off.
But that's the thing. When Hubbard first created the contest back in '83, that was his whole thing, was to provide that helping hand, because he had a whole history of during the 30s and 40s and of writing these essays that were published, which is now part of what you get in the online workshop. Yeah. And then we have those videos that were done by Orson Scott Card, Tim Powers, and Dave Farland, who unfortunately passed away a few years ago. And then we just added earlier this year, this past year, 3 more videos with Kevin Anderson, Robert Sawyer, and Nadia Corfor on more aspects of the craft of writing and business of writing, which is really good. Because with that, you now come to the workshop week. And so the judges consider you've got that under your belt. So now it's time to let's take it to the next level, because they're going to work with you as a pro. And that's how they treat, because this is a pro sale you just have. And so the current volume 41 is one, I think, 2 or 3 best of in various book competitions. Each year we'll get 2 or 3, gold awards of best anthology, best science fiction, best fantasy. And so it's just because the quality is so good. Your storytelling, both of you, you're in it because you're great storytellers. And this is your launch to the career. And we've got, I think it's about 60. We checked it last year, the year before, it was 62% rate of winners going on to successful careers as writers or artists in whatever aspect they're doing. So that's a pretty good success rate.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And we've got various reviews saying that nothing's got as good of a record of providing launches to careers and writers of the future. So that's a nice thing to have.
And for illustrators and authors, this is the time to be alive. I mean, we got so much streaming services. I mean, every time I got a lot of friends over at Netflix and other places, and they're always in Prometheus. They're always like, "Oh, you're going to do something?" No. Because I'm funny about what I'll do. I'm really funny about what I'll do, but they're just always looking for talent. They're looking for anything. I mean, some of the stuff I've talked to them about, because we're in the middle of working on a little production right now, but I mean, they don't care what it is. They'll put it on air just to see if it'll work. I mean, they're desperate. What happened? We all know the same what happened. We all lived through COVID, 2 years of watching until there wasn't nothing to watch anymore. And now we're kind of like, give us new. We're like kids. And it doesn't seem like it's coming out fast enough. For some reason, we just don't seem to be producing a lot. And even though they keep telling me Asia's producing a lot, well, it doesn't seem to be making it to the English-speaking world, because I haven't seen any of it. And I mean, I don't care what color your face is. I just want to see some good sci-fi.
Well, what's good, though, is that Dorothy, as a screenwriter, went to short stories. So we'll definitely make sure you connect you up with Kevin. Well, actually, several of our judges, like Tim Powers, maybe he saw some lines there with Disney, because his On Stranger Tides became, Pirates of the Caribbean. And so we definitely have some major players in this industry that can assist. But Kevin, he's very active on stuff, and he's now been able to write screenplays too. So the fact that you've done that and you're training yourself, Dorothy, that puts you one step closer potentially to moving in that direction as well.
Don't forget gaming companies. They're always looking for illustrators. It's everybody needs. I mean, it's in today's world with so much media content out there. I'll tell you a little secret. Okay, I got some friends that are on social media. I mean, we're all on social media, but I'm on quite a lot myself. I got 44 pages. But they're making good money at it. I mean, they're making 7 figures a month doing social media.
Month?
Yeah, influencers. Yeah, that's all they are. It's a month, and actually, there's people out there making far more than that. Well, guess what they started doing? They started hiring writers for their content, because they ran out of ideas. So now their content they're producing more content at a higher price. So they're making money for somebody else, but they're making more money for themselves by doing it. There's just so many. When I was a kid, there wasn't this. There was books and limited 3-channel sci-fi. You might see a sci-fi thing on television if you were really, really lucky. If you had PBS, it might have been Doctor Who or something like that. But there wasn't much to be watching, unless we be honest about it. You had to go to the movie if you wanted to see anything good. But now in today's world, it's different. I mean, I've got my regular Vizio TV, then I got the Roku television, and then I've got satellite, which I'm getting rid of because I don't need it anymore, because I've got everything in your mind. I got 4,000 channels. I'm never going to watch all of that. I couldn't even tell you what was on this thing. We're on it. Don't get me wrong. We're on Roku television. By the way, they're watching y'all in 4K tonight. So just wave, I always like to let people know they're being watched on real television. I remember taking a picture and sending it to my manager. I got a 70-inch TV in the living room, so I took a picture and sent it to her. She goes, "Oh my God, you can see everything." I said, "It's 4K." That's a matter of fact. There's things in this guy's eye back here. We give away prizes if people can identify what's in his eye. But you can't do it if you're just watching this on YouTube or Rumble. You got to be watching this on high def television to be able to see what's in there. And it's funny. And we've been giving away a lot of these too. We got behind this year. We've been giving a lot of these away. You'd be surprised how many people like. Yeah, I've given one of these away in probably at least 50 countries now, maybe 55 countries.
Well, if you've got any going spare, I'll have a lightsaber. So
Well, the guy who our distributor's out of the UK. That's where he's
Oh.
at. I met him in Utah like 4 years ago.
4 years ago, yeah, Salt Lake City, FanX.
I went to go see Jonathan FanX, and I met him there. And ever since then, he's been putting them out. Now I did notice it came down in price quite a bit this year. Like their Quilo, their what's his name? The bad guy. Now I can't think of his name. His was $999 last year. This year it was like $599. So and he just
a little bit outside of my price range.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's why I said you got to get him given away, man. You got to catch him. Qui-Gon Jinn's is the purple one. I think it's that's not probably Master Wind is the purple one. I think his was like 600. But anytime they've got a Star Wars hilt on it, they're going to be more expensive. I mean, this one right here, he gave me this one for free, but I think this one will run you around $200. And first thing you do is you have them take the glass one off and put the fighting tube on. Yeah, first day I was chasing my dogs around the hotel with. Yeah. If I'd have had the glass one, I'd have been buying a new one. So.
I used to have a lightsaber fight with my son every day before he went to bed, but they were only little cheap ones, which was just as well because he managed to smash mine into pieces. So
well, the glass. Anytime they get the glass with the plastic tips, are gonna break. But they made these because they got clubs where people go fight, and so they made them where they can take a beating. And this one you can smack it against all kind of stuff, and it still lights up nice. And I was surprised by it. But we always give them away. But so when you're there, you're going to get everybody comes downstairs, usually after dinner, depending on what's going on, because there's a lot goes on. There's a lot of days that things run later, like the barbecue, keeps us. So you might see people at the lobby kind of a little later that night, but some days you might see them a little early down there. And they're either usually sitting at the bar. Mostly everybody's just sitting in the lobby, hanging around, talking. They group up in different groups. And a lot of times the winners will just kind of hang around on the edge. And like I was telling Dorothy, just let me know. Anybody you want to introduce, I'll walk you right up and introduce you to them. I'll just walk right up, say hi, just such and such, because that's what they want to talk to y'all. Why they want to talk to y'all, I still ain't figured out. But
Joe, you're doing so good there until that last little sentence there.
No, really. They're all really good people, and they do go. And then if by chance, and I can't guarantee this will happen, but if by chance we're over at Author Services and you're around the coffee machine, and John happens to be around the coffee machine, you got to get him to make you some coffee, man.
Yeah,
he's
a really nice cappuccino machine.
He's the most expensive barista I've ever seen in my life, man. We couldn't afford him in a real Starbucks. No, Jim, he makes a beast of a cup of coffee. What's her name? I can't say her name because I always want to call her by a fictitious name. I want to call her Hilga, which is not her name. So,
Gunhild.
Yeah, she makes a pretty beastie cup of coffee too. No, everybody over there is really nice. I mean, really and truly. And I'll tell y'all this is total honesty. When I met John, I wanted access to everybody. I mean, everybody, winners, losers, everybody at Author Services, everybody involved, just everybody, judges. And he didn't even bark. That I thought I was going to get an argument out of him at least. Like, oh, I don't know, Joe, you're pretty big ass sometimes. I don't know. It's nope. And I got to say, because of that, I've learned to trust these guys because, frankly, I've never asked them a question. They just didn't answer immediately. People who tend to lie, people are going to tend to BS you. Usually him and haw a little bit about, nope, there ain't none of that going on. I asked a question, and they're busy to start off with. So, they're going by me asking questions. So they're not even thinking about the question. They're just, because like I said, they're busy and I'm just asking while we're talking and walking and they're just answering. So I like people like that. I like honest people. I hate dishonest people. I got to deal with enough of them in the world as it is. So
yeah,
it's tough. So everybody over there is really nice, laid back, working hard. And so far I haven't met anybody that wasn't helpful if you needed help. So
yeah. So Sean, we were talking to Dorothy. She's in a very small town in South Africa. And do you have a writing group, Dorothy?
We try and start one every now and then, but I think for a lot of people, the writing is work.
Yeah. And what about
Yeah,
you,
they
Sean?
want to write. They want to
Yeah.
write. Yeah.
And then Sean, do you have a writing group that you're part of?
It did a while, but I mean, it was just starting to get off the ground, and then COVID struck, and we all sort of lost contact again. So I've got friends from previous writing groups, and we sort of share material. So I've just been critiquing her book for her. So yeah, got some contacts. Never quite as many as I might like.
Yeah. We also have the Writers of the Future forum that you can join there as well.
Yeah.
It's free to enter, and we have a lot of past winners that are there, and other people that, you know, it's a community, and it's just got basically one rule, that there's no negativity. So if you're given one warning, if you come in there and make like a disingenuous or a negative comment, you're saying one warning, okay, that's not this forum, and do it again, then they're banned. So it's just, if you want to get somebody to give you a bunch of grief or to kind of like, rain on your parade, just go to Facebook or X or any social media channel. You can get more than your share with just posting like, hey, I want to be a writer. And just, you get the naysayers will come in saying, well, don't give up your day job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other.
Well, it's one thing I noticed about all the winners. They usually start their own accord groups.
Yeah.
Or something along those lines, and they all start swapping out stuff, and then they start talking about their own groups. So it kind of blooms into something, and all of them will tell you the same thing. If you need some help, here's my email. Everybody swaps emails, so that's material you can get if you feel like you need somebody to help you read something. And of course, there's always Wolf. I mean, he's always around. And Wolf, what's that, Jesse? No, Wolf Moon's a cool guy, but you got to be serious with Wolf. You don't want. He's got enough people. He don't want playtime people. No, he's got several winners of Writers of the Future. So I would not. No, he's been on the network. He's been. You can go check him. He's been on here 4 or 5 times with me.
We'll also have 3 or 4 past winners that will be attending the workshop too, that you'll be able to talk to, that they won over the last 30 years, and they're all excited to be able to greet the new winners. And I'll be sending an email out this week to everybody, all the winners. So you'll all be able to get each other's email addresses, and you can start connecting with each other as well, and start getting to know that. And normally you'll have a group that you'll start up, and that gets going. So anyway, this, like I said, there's winners from going back over many years. You get to become a tight group, and then you stay with them. And since the internet happened, it's a lot more so, because prior to the internet, it was all done by either phone call or by letters.
Yeah,
but post the internet, it's a lot easier just to stay, email communication, or they keep the various forums that they join, that they create within themselves. So that's always works out really good. So Sean, what type of, you like write science fiction or fantasy, or both, or what?
Both, really. I just kind of alternate a little bit between them. I'm going through a sci-fi phase at the moment, probably because the story that won was a science fiction story. But yeah, I think my last big project was about Father Christmas's ninjas, and how they protected and rescued Rudolph's older brother, who was bereft without. So sometimes I think the thing about writing is it's so much fun just to really kind of stretch the imagination in as many different directions as you can possibly take it.
Yeah. Dorothy was talking about one thing that's interesting with fiction that you can do is you can discuss sensitive subjects. You put it there into a different world, a different universe, different time, different races, different planet, and you can discuss things that if you were talking about right here, right now, would just be too explosive or too incendiary. So you can't talk about this. Gives you an opportunity to talk about that. You have used it for that purpose at all?
Hopefully. I mean, I think kind of my primary interest is always to try to entertain. I think that's where I tend to come from. But I definitely like to kind of, there's things like within which I tend to use the term called resonances. I like to kind of build resonances within stories which might echo particular themes or particular other subjects on my mind. So my story for Writers of the Future has an element of that to it about kind of destruction of ecosystems. But yeah, generally speaking, that the main interest I have is kind of, I suppose, trying to tell something that's fun and something that's interesting to read, and then kind of anything over and above that is fantastic. But I was reading a lot of Ursula Le Guin recently, and kind of some of the stuff that she did with some of the subjects she would bring into play within that just blew my mind. Just how she could talk about, as you say, those explosive subjects and kind of embed it in an alien culture and really sort of bring those issues into the imagination in a safe way. So it's the ultimate toy box, I think, is kind of being able to discuss and think about these things. You can sort of play around with ideas that, as you say, are just otherwise unsafe to do so. And it can be an entry to all of us. It gets past our defenses and helps us to take a broader perspective.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I haven't read the stories yet, so the book is being submitted to me this week for I do proofreading and QC on the books. That comes to me on Wednesday. So it's moving through the lines there with all the artwork being finished and all the final review by Jody, and then just been going through all that stuff, and it gets submitted there so we can start doing it's in the final runway to go to the printer. So that's all exciting there. And then, like I was telling Dorothy, at the end of February we have the cover reveal, and then a week later we have introduce all the illustrators to the world, with their winning art. And then we'll start doing more, preparatory stuff. Joel will be inviting 4 winners at a time onto the podcast on this show to get more, you introduce more people, and then you come out the middle of April and we get to see each other in the flesh.
Yeah. It's a good place. You're going to have a lot of fun. It's probably a little nerve-wracking the first day, but other than that, you settle right in. I mean, everybody is so nice. It's hard to really be nervous for any length of time. It's they really take good care of you, and Jody's going to be there, so I call her the queen bee because she's always into everything. It's well, I always ask because she's the one who gets to call everybody. I asked her one day. I said, "Well, how does it feel like when you got to call somebody and say?" She's like, "I gotta call them and tell them that. I just sent them an email." But she says she really likes calling people and telling y'all, where you happen to be in the thing. For her, it seems like it's much nerve-wracking for her as it is for y'all. Kind of funny, actually.
So what was it like when either one of you, when you got your phone call from Joni saying that you were a winner? Because you get the first phone call saying you're a finalist, and then you go through. Okay, so hello, yeah. So okay, I'm a finalist, but am I a winner? And then you got the phone call. Obviously, that's your winner. So what was that like? The finalist, and then the transition, and the wait to getting the phone call as a winner, and then the phone call.
Well, the finalist call, it came through about 10 o'clock in the evening in UK time. It was a number I didn't recognise. I nearly didn't answer it. I thought it was going to be some sort of scam caller, and thought, who the heck is phoning me at this time? And then picked up the call and, recognised the name right away and thought, oh my God, can this be real? Sort of thing. And then kind of obviously the excitement kicked in. And it kind of, for me personally, it kind of happened at a really weird time in my life, because I had a very close colleague who was very poorly at the point that kind of I got Jodie's call, and then unfortunately didn't make it, and that all happened in between that and getting the finalist call. So it was a real slice of good news, and I suppose an otherwise bleak time for me. So it was absolutely fantastic. But I often sort of wondered if kind of I was reacting, I suppose, with as much excitement as I felt, just because I had that sort of bleak underpinning for.
Well, you're British, so of course you didn't.
Yeah, well, that's true enough. British Reserve is a very real and definitely a problem sometimes.
What about you, Dorothy?
Well, I'd entered my phone number incorrectly, first of all, on my entry, which has been incorrect the whole time. And so Joni had to send me an email to say, please, I'm trying to get hold of you. And then eventually she got hold of me as a finalist. And I thought, you shouldn't have told me that, because now I have to wait. Because if I'm fourth, then there's nothing. So
Yeah.
and then when she called to tell me that I'd come in, we were visiting my daughter and her family in Pretoria, and I think it came through like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and my phone said spam, and I thought, no, but spam calls, we never get them that time of the day. So I answered, and then it was her, and I couldn't make too much noise because everybody was sleeping, so I had to be quietly excited. But I woke my husband. I like shook him. Yeah, so it was unreal.
Is he going to? So, do either of you have family coming out for the event or for the workshop week?
Yeah, my wife's gonna she's gonna join towards the end, and then we're hopefully gonna hang around and see some sights a little bit afterwards.
Good.
There's a lot to see in LA.
What about you, Dorothy?
My sister's coming with.
Oh, good.
Traveling together. My husband says he won't go even if you pay him to go. So
Tell him we don't really shoot people in the United States. It's just in the movie. It's because I got a good friend of mine came in from France not too long ago. He said, "God, it's so peaceful here." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Joe, I see TV all the time. Y'all blowing up this, killing that." I said, "Dude, we have a big country. It's big country. It's like goes from ocean to ocean." I said, "Yeah, one little killing here, that's nothing in this country." He's like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, you're not even going to notice that," because he stayed in New York for a while. He didn't like New York too much. But he was in Miami. He really liked Miami. So,
and New York's crazy. It's like that's a whole different scene right now.
He liked LA. He was out in LA for a little while. He liked LA. He went out to Hawaii. He said that's not really the United States, so he came back to the mainland. And last I talked to him, he decided he's going to settle somewhere in Northern California. He bought a place up there. He said he didn't want to be in California, but he liked California. I was like, "Dude, I'm confused. What do you mean?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I heard this place, Eureka." He said, "But I want something a little closer to the coast." I'm like, he said, "And I'm this way. I'm close to Portland and Washington." I'm like, I said, "Okay." And I said, "I thought you." I said, "Okay, well, you have fun up there. Let me know how it goes." But he's lived in France all his life, and his English is not. We'll just say it's challenging. Leave it at that. It's challenging, but that's the problem. Though a lot of people come here and don't want to leave. I think it's 1 in 4 right now. Even with the bad reputation Trump gave us, it's still like 1 in 4. Usually, it's like 1 in 2. It's hard. It's hard because if you've never been here, it's hard to understand what the country really is. It's like when the first time I went to Europe, I was like, "Wow, this is just entirely different than I thought the hell it was."
Yeah, it's amazing what kind of picture various mainstream
and my wife
media
was,
effectively will paint and stuff.
And she was a military brat, so she was all over Europe. So, but I like it. I'm happy to, once you live in the States, you don't really have to jump to other countries. There's lots of things to go see. 50 different states, 50 different accents, 50 different crazy people, all kind of foods all over the place. So
I've not been to South Africa before. I've been London. I hope they'll be going back there again in February for the London Book Fair. I'm trying to finalize that right now. And then just a few months ago, I was in Frankfurt at the big book fair there. And it's just amazing. It's just, you can go anywhere in any of these major countries and find the crap that media will try to do. But I always find great people everywhere I go. I'm sure if, in London, I love London. It's just so many great people there. Frankfurt, just amazing people there, very friendly. And I know you can find places where there's, the not like that, but I don't go to those places, and it's
no reason to go to dangerous. But I've always had the same rule, and I always tell my friends that travel abroad the same thing. Look, even when I'm traveling in the U.S., I always find a local to go visit. I don't want to, when I'm like from Europe and I got a lot of friends in Europe. I got a lot of family over there too. So I'll just say, "Look, I'm gonna come spend a couple of weeks. Why don't you show me around?" That way I know I'm not going to get drugged in places I don't belong. Because I have a tendency to find it bad. Well, my wife will tell you, I just have a tendency to find it bad places. It's better this way, and you get to see the things that are relevant. I don't get, you don't get stuck in the tourist traps. Like when people come to New Orleans, I tell them, "Look, don't stop at the levee because it's the first place you're going to see and eat and drink there. It's one.
Well, unless you have a Chevy.
Yeah, well, yeah, but the food's not as good and it costs way more. So if you go into the quarter further, you're going to get much better food at a much better price. And you're going to get much nicer people. You know,
Yeah.
it's just all the way around better. So, you know, I wanted to go hang out with some friends of mine because I used to play darts when I was young. I was played professionally, and I was in England playing. And he said, "Look, I'm gonna take you pub hopping," and it was just, it's not, it just was a different experience. I enjoyed it a lot. It's just different. The Brits party a little different than the Americans do. It's kind of more relaxed, I guess, until I got to Ireland, and they were just nuts.
Uh,
I shouldn't even said that out loud. Man, it's the truth, man.
I've partied with some Irish people. It's an interesting experience.
It was. Let's just say it was interesting. Leave it at that. But you know, meeting people like y'all is great. I always love to meet talented people because, I mean, my illustrator skills are, well, they're just funny. In author skills, I could probably write, but I mean, I have written 80,000 and deleted. It's just I don't feel. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. When I talk to authors, I can feel it's like part of y'all. You know, it's just like it's somewhere it's ingrained in your being to be this. You know, most of the ones I talk to, I can feel it, can sense it. With me, it's more like it would be more like a hobby. I don't have that overall desire to really get in there. Even though I probably got some pretty good sci-fi shit in my head, I just don't have the doing this kind of stuff. Yeah, it's easy for me, but no. So it's always a pleasure for me to meet people like y'all because I know it's a talent that I hate to see wasted. You know, because these days we need all the talent that we can get, and especially when it comes to authors. Because frankly, again, have y'all seen Netflix lately, or Hulu, or Cinemax, or Showtime, or anybody? Oh God, it's pathetic. I don't know.
Well, this year here, because I was already telling Dorothy about this, but Sean, it's this year is year 42, and based upon one of your fellow countrymen who's no longer with us, but wrote a book a while ago, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So we're going to have various Easter eggs throughout the event on that one there, because this is our year 42. And it's also the year that we have 1,000 winners that we're celebrating. We will have broken 1,000 over the 42 years. So we're pretty excited about that too. So
got a lot of good people out there now.
Yeah, and it's just maybe I should redo the arithmetic on it to see how much money because Elvin Hubbard's estate is what, you know, he said, look, I'm gonna make sure it continues to be funded into, you know, it just
and I imagine that cost doubles every year.
Yeah, so it's just millions of dollars that's gone into this contest that he's paid from his, you know, from his royalties and earnings, and it's he just went, you know, it was something he did before. He launched this contest right after releasing Battlefield Earth, and that was, you know, in the early '80s, and this was in '83 that this was announced. So Battlefield Earth, I mean, it's well over 4.5 million copies sold so far, and still does really well as a book. And so it's when it launched, and it got announced in '83. The first book came out in '85, and so it just continues to, you know, to roll forward now. And it's just been various of the judges that we've had, like, this was a great idea. If it makes it through 5 years, this is Bob Silverberg, Robert Silverberg. Makes 5 years, it would be great. If it makes 10 years, that'd be awesome. And then we had him write the essay in volume 10. He said, well, I would have thought that if it made it 10 years, it'd be great. If it makes it this much more. And then he made a series of 3 different essays. The last one was on year 25. And he keeps on reiterating that story. But now that it's year 42, it's just it just goes on and on and on. And now, like I was mentioning earlier, we're at about 62% success rate, you know, of winners that go on. But now, because there's so many entrants, there's thousands of entries every quarter. And if you get an honorable mention certificate now, I see a press release almost every week or every other week where a writer gets published and says, I also won honorable mention in Writers of the Future. You know, so you might look at, oh no, it's a reject.
Every accolade,
a lot of people look at it as an actual, you know, as a win, you know, because you're in the top 10 percentile if you get an honorable mention and a certificate. So a lot of people will take a look at that as like, wow, this is it's a special deal.
All right, Jerry, since you've seen all of that, I will send you a Kylo Ren lightsaber. You've been texting me for 20 minutes. I didn't even know it was back there. Yeah. No, I knew the Crown Royal, but did a bottle of Crown Royal? That's the very first time I ever went to LA to see John and them. That tells you how much I drink right there. It's the same amount of liquor in it when I brought it over until it was there. No, yeah, they're all three there. The guns there, the knives there, and the liquor's there. Yeah, so I'll send you a Kylo in. Just send me, just go to iCarcox.net and send me your information. Yeah, well, I was going to give away one or two in this show anyway. I always do. Guys, so quick question. I know we're running out of time, and this is probably more in depth than we get for the little time we got, but AI, what do you think about AI writing? Now, I don't know how much it affects writers versus illustrators, but still, I mean, most of the AI stuff I read was like pretty good, and then it was like, I don't know what the hell any of this stuff, 500 words in the middle was, and then some kind of weird ending that you don't really know where it came from because you don't know what was in the middle of the book. It's kind of jibber jabber. But have any of y'all ran up against that or thought about it?
Because I thought about it a lot, but from what I've read, it's funny in the sense that it's obviously a pastiche. There's no, at the moment for me, there's no real originality. There's no particular rhetorical skill. It's just stuff. I mean, we've had some fun with it in work. We had a data quality wrap of all bizarre things, and it's functional. But I think for anything longer than that, I don't think it's there. I'm not convinced that the large language model technology that underpins it is going to solve that problem anytime soon. So I'm not personally, I don't know, Dorothy, you might feel differently, but I'm personally not feeling massively threatened by it at the moment.
What do you think, Dorothy?
Dorothy?
Do we lose her? Nope, she's on the other side of the planet. You never know.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I mean, we made a very clear cut, like no AI storytelling, no AI art. It's just very simple. You know,
And
you
then
can
we
use
need to-
technology like Photoshop and stuff like that to clean up things, but
And I've heard the orange guy talking about we need some kind of copyright against AI. Because AI has access to everything. I mean, it's your material it's reading or stealing from learning how to draw. I mean, so anytime you go ahead,
I've been involved in a lot of conversation about how AI is going to take away writers. Yeah, AI is going to take away writers' work and stuff. I just think that, yeah,
Yeah, I don't think it's going to take y'all's work. Not yet, anyway. Maybe Elon Musk will figure it out.
yeah.
but I think
Oh,
The signal's really rough here.
must be a lag.
I personally, I think that there've always been hack writers, bad writers, and they're just going to be the ones who use the AI. So it's going to be the same thing, just faster for them. And people will eventually choose to read real writers' work. And I think it's the same with musicians and the same with artists, that perhaps now social media will become really important, that you get to know the artist. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm totally anti-AI for anything creative.
Yeah.
Me too.
You know, when I was in college, I didn't have any money, so I would go and buy the posters, the cheap posters that I could hang up on my wall in the college dorm, you know, and I'd get these fancy artists, you know, famous artists, and I'd get their, it's $1.99, whatever I paid for it, and I'd get my masking tape and I'd tape it onto the wall, and there's my art. You know, that's where I wasn't. There's no way I would do something like that now. And so I think you're going to find people too. You're always going to find people that want the real thing. And you're always going to find people, as you always have, people that want to have the cheap crap. You know, you got the guys that'll drink the Boone's Farm Annie Greenspring wine, and the guys that'll drink the really fancy, you know, Chardonnays and you know, have no problem spending $100, $200 for a bottle of wine. So it just fluctuates, and you're always going to have that. You know, you'll have the Muzak in the elevators, and you're going to have somebody going to an actual concert and seeing people perform. You know, But right now, I think one of the big disservices that the pandemic did is that by shutting down the planet, people know what they're missing by going to a live performance of a play or of a concert. They're used to watching TV, or they're watching photons against a white screen as their entertainment. And, it's such a world of difference. If you go to a Cirque du Soleil show, it's amazing. It's like what you see there, the real thing, real people doing real performances, running up and down the aisles and stuff like that, or just watching a big screen TV with surround sound speakers on it. It's a world of difference. But if people don't know that, if they've not experienced it, they don't know what they're missing. And so for them, I want a louder speaker on my surround sound. I need a 96-inch screen instead of a 72-inch screen. Whereas if you go out and actually see the real thing, which plays to what Dorothy was saying also on the real stories, not the hacks, but the real stories, the real art, which Joe's talked about before, where you go to the street, the guy's painting, here's an actual painting of something. It's such a world of difference. And I think there will always be people that want that. And the number of times that publishing has been going to the end of publishing, 5 times in the last 100 years. So there will be people that will fall to it and they'll try to get it, and they'll say, oh, it's going to be this, it'll be that. But creativity is still
once it's copyrighted out, it's going to be hard. Once the government says, okay, because let's say Sean writes something good and 10 years down the line, AI has decided to use it as part of its story, and somebody reads it and recognizes it from something Sean wrote earlier, then you'll have some recourse. Right now, you don't, though. Right now, you have no recourse. They steal your whole damn idea. You have no recourse.
Well, the lawsuit that came through that was judged against, like, it's going to take however many years before we actually get the payment on it. But there was a whole big settlement there was however many tens of thousands of books that were scanned, and we had 100 and some odd Hubbard books that were scanned on this thing here, and so we're getting paid for that.
Yeah, they need to, because it's bullshit. Excuse my language. Yeah. It's these companies, and granted they're multi-billion-dollar companies, decide, well, you know what, we'll just do this. Well, I found out Google. So how it asks you if you're a cute computer to click the little button or put the little face on it or something. Google was using that to teach their computers, not for your safety, to help you make sure nothing was going to get into your computer. They were using that to train their computers on a whole entirely different subject. I was like, what? I was watching the damn story last night. We're not going to get nothing out of it. I was like, now, the other day Facebook did send me some checks, so that was cool. And, for losing stuff, I got a couple from the banks. I mean, every now and then I get a check from somebody who done something stupid and your information got hacked or something. But AI is going to be interesting to see where it ends up long term. It's going to have to be copyrighted out. It's going to have to be, a lot of stuff's going to have to be blocked, because AI doesn't have an original imagination. It only has your imagination or whoever's imagination. But anyway, I know we got to get out of here. I see we just got a note from Dorothy. She's losing connection. It doesn't doubt me. The planet's twisting around now. She's starting to get further on the other side of it. Jack, she's in South Africa at midnight. Yeah, she's crossing the line now.
It's 1 a.m. for her now. Yeah.
Sean's in the UK, so he's still on this side with us. Yeah. He's just on the other side of the ocean. In the old days, the ocean. Look, I remember having to talk on them stupid oceanic cables. Them cables were garbage. I mean, there'd be crosstalk on them. Plus, it cost you like $25 for 5 minutes. It was crazy.
Well, before that, you couldn't do it at all.
Yeah, well, now we have this, which is much better.
Yeah.
Yes, and it doesn't. And you know what? Not only is it much better, but it's free. Oh God, it's free. I know. Well, it was Skype. I don't think they have Skype anymore, but I think they did away with it finally. But you can use Skype to call around the world. No, they did away with it. Google or Microsoft, somebody decided to turn it into something else. Yeah.
Oh, really? Skype doesn't exist.
Yeah,
it's now, I think.
Yeah. Skype was a great program.
I retired May 2025. I haven't used it for so long.
Yeah. Well, I haven't either.
Microsoft Teams for free messaging and calling with your contacts.
Yeah, we used to use it to help run the network, but And it was great because you could even bring in live calls on it. But this stuff works pretty good at minus the live calls. But we got to go, guys and girls. I want to thank everyone for tuning into United Public Radio. If you didn't catch John's show, it was on earlier today. It came on at 2:00, so you could have caught it. Check it out. It's already up into the archive, so you can go watch it on archive and check it out. I think it's on should be on all the archive sites by now. So you can go up there and check it out and see who he was talking to. I don't know. Oh, I know who you're talking about, Chris. No, that was like a couple weeks ago. Yeah, she was cute too, but I can't remember her name. He's talking about some girl that was on your show.
Oh yeah, that was she was the art director at Ringling College.
So let me get this straight. You didn't listen to the show. You just wanted to watch the girl. Well, you can only see her in the picture. Yeah, we're gonna make John start doing live shows. Yeah, we're gonna get on his ass about this in the future.
Yeah, her name was Christina Hess.
He is too cute to be just hanging out there hiding his face and stuff. No, his wife don't want him being all live all the time because she's he always gets asked to be married and stuff like that. I keep telling people he's married. Anyway,
anyway, Sean, it's been great talking to you and meeting you here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just speaking on John there.
Yeah, nice meeting you. And then, where are you located as compared to like London? Where's your?
North, so Liverpool, where the Beatles came from, basically.
Okay.
Oh, the Beatles. He's a Beatles fan. Liverpool. I think I was actually in Liverpool.
There's lots of Beatles stuff, but there's some other. It's also the home for the world's greatest soccer team, so that's good as well.
Yeah, that's good. That's even better, actually. The Beatles are old news now, man. We talk about the soccer. It's what's that, Jeffrey? No, I was in Liverpool a long time ago. Yeah, probably before Sean was even born. Yeah, it was. No, it was a long time ago. Yeah, Beatles was probably still halfway famous back then. I was like 70. No, it was like 84, actually. I think 85. No, we got leave.
Very nice meeting you, Sean.
Likewise. And nice guys.
I'll be in touch with you over the next week or so. And if you've already done the online workshop, that's great. But you might want to refresh up on because that's one of the things I'm going to send around to everybody to go through it again.
That's the fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thanks very much, guys.
No,
thank you very much.
Can't wait to see you. It's great talking to you. Guys and girls, thank you again for listening to United Public Radio and it's the Authors Quill. Don't even go there with that stuff. We'll be back next Wednesday. Got lots of good stuff. Be sure to go check out Writers of the Future, who was on before us. And don't forget the chat's coming up next. We'll be on in about an hour. Tonight's going to be pretty much havoc wreaking because we'll be talking about Venezuela. We'll be talking about quite a few things that I can't say what it's going to do because this is a nice PG rated show. That show's R rated. That's too entirely field. Anyway, on that note, good night and stay tuned for the chat. We'll see y'all in an hour.